So after sixth form, I didn't really know which direction I wanted to take, and obviously with university being quite expensive nowadays, you can't just go on a whim. You kind of have to know what you're doing, and I wasn't quite there yet. So I looked around for jobs for a while, and everywhere these days requires experience in some form, but obviously I'd been at sixth form, so I didn't have that. And eventually I ended up on the council website, and at the bottom there's the information about apprenticeships. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll give that a go. So I went in to speak to Erica, the apprenticeship person, and within the same week I had an interview for an apprenticeship, and then the day after that I got the apprenticeship, and it just kind of fell into place like that. So initially it was mostly admin based stuff, so photocopying, printing, kind of, busy work. But eventually, as you got part of the team, I was given more kind of intricate jobs, and by the end of the apprenticeship I was kind of doing what someone who was full-time in the role would be doing anyway. But having that guidance throughout had meant it was quite a gentle curve to get to that point. So I didn't really notice that it had happened at all. I think definitely the number one skill that I picked up during the apprenticeship was just kind of the work-life ethic sort of thing, because coming from school, all the way up to sixth form, you develop different habits, and then when you come to the workplace it's completely different. But as an apprentice you have the kind of support to integrate you into the workplace. But on top of that you'll pick up other useful skills, like I did business administration, so you pick up general admin skills, which are always useful to have. I went through a basic IT qualification, which made me more comfortable with systems that I'd already known and introduced me to new ones like Access, which we never really used in school before. And it just kind of introduces you to the wider world outside of school, I found anyway. I think the main benefit was definitely the experience that it gives you, being able to say that you have pretty much been in work for a year at the end of the apprenticeship, which you technically have. Obviously there were qualifications you get out of it as well, which are always going to look good on a CV. If you don't have maths qualifications, for example, you can do another one while you're at work, which is really handy. Same with IT and English. And it was just, having that support there to get you through everything was really useful in all of that. So yeah, it was getting towards the end of my apprenticeship, and I didn't really have anything lined up. My current team did not have the capacity to keep me on, which some do, but in this case they didn't. I was kind of looking around at other council jobs, and then I was approached by someone who was looking for specifically an apprentice to develop further after their apprenticeship, which was obviously perfect for myself in the audit team. So I went to the interview for that and ended up getting it. And moving from what was effectively an admin role to another admin role but full-time was a really smooth transition, because as I mentioned, it was such a gentle curve to get there that you were kind of prepared out of nowhere for full-time work, and it didn't feel like a difference at all. The only difference was the pay, really. If I'd just gone straight into the role that I'm in now, I would have had no chance. I would have probably had a breakdown by now. But the fact that I've had a year of getting used to it, and eventually we got there, as soon as I went in there I was comfortable with what I was doing, and it really does prepare you for something that school couldn't. I don't think any amount of confidence building at school would have got me to the point where I'd be comfortable to just jump into a full-time job like I have with this apprenticeship.